Welcome back to Mission Reboot. This episode we're dedicating to those of you who are thinking, when I come home, I'm going to be a social influencer, a networker, and that's how I'm going to make my money. And I'm going to let Josh break it to you a little bit easy or hard or slow or whatever Josh is going to do. But what I will say is when you come home, I think one of the best ways that you can use social media for influence is just to begin to influence people who are going to be extending opportunity to you of who you are today and how you've changed and how you're the best person for whatever opportunity that they're trying to offer you.
Yeah.
Now, whether you make money or not off of doing that, I hope so. But
Okay, so
let's
before
go.
Josh hurts anyone's feelings about influencing for cash,
Yeah, he has his own feelings
Josh
and thoughts.
has, we've
He
already
has his own
discussed this.
judgment.
Josh is going to tell you some things. Okay, I will just say, as a definition, an influencer is someone who posts content on a online platform to get someone to do something, right? Or to believe something. So when people say I'm going to be an influencer, there technically the majority of us are influencers, right?
Sure.
If you have a social media presence and you post something, you share like, oh, I love this restaurant. The truth is you could influence someone to go visit that restaurant. You will get nothing monetarily from that exchange other than I shared something, someone did something because they saw my post. So
Unless somehow you are creating unique content. And as a result of that, a lot of people are paying attention to what you have to say, and you're getting a lot of people to go to that restaurant.
and I have to contradict mom. So there
you
is
have
this
it.
concept of being a micro influencer, which is people who have 1,000 or fewer followers online. But what happens is you don't have the volume of followers, but the truth is people take whatever action you tell them to take. So for example, if you are in a previous episode,
Quality over quantity.
Exactly, mom mentioned that the internet loves to feature me as a cook and a mom. What we noticed was anytime I made brunch at home, Instagram would lift it and all of a sudden I'd have 10,000 views. And I'm like, but where did these 10,000 people come from?
Yeah.
Because I don't have 10,000 followers. If I post something about R3, it's like 20 people saw it, right?
Yeah.
And so that speaks to the way the platforms are designed.
And they love you when you post family.
They do. So they want me
If she puts
to be an influencer around that.
If she puts my mom or Austin in it and food, 10,000, 20,000.
So the feedback I'm getting from the platform is you should become a food and cook influencer. I
And
don't want
family
to,
person.
right? At a minimum, because I know what Josh is going to tell you, which is what it would cost me to figure out how to monetize that. They get more from me making that content than I would get in my pocket, and therefore it's a no. Social media.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say really quickly because Mom said the best way to use social media is to influence someone to give you a job. When you come home, you can think of yourself as an influencer, but you're not influencing someone to make money. You're influencing someone to think highly of you to get a house or highly of you to get a job. But now let's talk about influencing for cash, because there are a lot of people who come home and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna start a podcast, or I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna get paid to tell my story.
And we do have someone who has recently joined, the platform that we're on as well, who came home from prison and is making millions of dollars doing it. But that's one person, right?
Sure.
And there are other people who are making some money doing it. But all right, Josh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Negative Ned.
Yeah. In that case, you will make a ton of money doing this. So when you look at the actual trajectory of how people use social media, that started with, hey, here's a photo of my food, of my dog, or whatever the case. And then they started recording videos. And then people realized, oh, I can just be an entertainer. I can record video. And then people started attracting attention. And attention can be monetized. Because if I have 10,000 people looking at me and then I hold up a box of Wheaties, then maybe
A portion of those 10,000 will buy some Wheaties.
then some portion will buy, and then maybe Wheaties
Since
will...
Comcast is paying for this
Yes.
particular
If
episode,
I hold
can you hold up a
Comcast
Xfinity?
box.
An Xfinity box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was there were a lot of people informally recommending stuff that they loved, and consumers were starting to purchase them. And people were trying to monetize this. People were trying to get companies to sponsor them. And it took a little time. And eventually companies said, hey, let's give it a go. Let's allocate some of our marketing budget to these people. But what has kind of come out is a lot of times their followers didn't do the things.
Well, people are also exhausted. So
They
like,
didn't buy it.
and I think that this is a reason why, as it relates to for people coming home now, there was a window in the market.
There was a window.
Where you could have said, I want to become a reentry influencer, or I want to use my story to become an influencer. And it would have worked. Not saying it won't work for anyone. There are some people who can be the exceptions to the rule. But I think Josh, prior to this, likened it to like going pro, right? Like there are
Like
only
the
but
NBA
so many
or
people.
NFL type
It's only
thing,
so many
yeah.
spots.
Exactly.
And the thing is, everybody had the same idea at the same time.
Yeah.
And so what happened is now all three of us, we can all become influenced. And so it's basic supply demand function.
Yeah.
The supply of people creating this content and then trying to get these advertising dollars went up and up and up. And so now you're competing against other people. And then the companies also discovered that it doesn't really work that well. So companies are less interested and there are more people competing. And so it's really not a ripe market to make a lot of money in. Is it possible? 100%. But is this the wisest, I think, most strategically advantageous thing for you to do? Probably not. And this is also coming from somebody who has several different friends who have all been incarcerated, who have millions of followers, and you know it's the money ain't always there. So just be wary.
Yeah. So you have heard how you can do it. Prioritize yourself in that and be focused on the outcome you seek that will benefit you in your life and the plans that you have. And then, you know what? We're sending up good vibes for those of you who do it.
Yeah,
And
best of
really,
luck.
you know, make our boy over here a liar that
Yeah.
you came home and really like got into the pros with this thing. You know, we love that. But also the world and the web is changing. We're moving to a new version of that web. It's called Web 3. We'll talk about that some other day. And, you know, there's always ways to make money. This just might not be the right way to make money. And so the thought is, what's next?
Yeah.
That concludes this episode of Mission Reboot. We hope you found this information to be helpful.